What's going on, everyone? It's DSP, and welcome to another episode of Poorly Cooking with the King. Although in this episode, we're actually going to go a little bit more healthy than some of my previous recipes, simply because a lot of people have been complaining, and I guess it's time to show that I don't only eat, things that might be high in fat or high in cholesterol. What we're going to do today is we're going to whip up a nice tuna salad sandwich, but we're actually going to do it a little bit differently, because unlike regular tuna salad sandwiches, it's not just going to be a sandwich, we're going to make it a panini. But I will show you what I mean in just a little bit. The first thing we need to do is talk about ingredients. For any sandwich, obviously, for tuna salad, the first thing you need is tuna. Now, depending on how much you're going to make, usually the standard can of tuna comes in 5 or 6 ounce varieties. I grabbed 2, and I'm going to make enough tuna salad for 2 cans. However, you can go ahead and if you're only going to make one sandwich, obviously 1 can is going to be more than enough. In this case, each can's 5 ounces, so we're talking roughly 10 ounces of tuna. Now, you're probably going to want the tuna that's in water. I've seen the tuna that's in oil, but that's not very good. It's usually used for other different kinds of recipes, but I wouldn't recommend it for tuna salad. The other primary ingredient in tuna salad is usually mayonnaise, but in this case, I actually do prefer this mayonnaise substitute, which is called Miracle Whip. There are other ones like it, but usually what this does is it's a vegetable dressing that it has a tangy zip to it. It's a tangier than regular mayonnaise, but the key to this is that it has less than half the fat and cholesterol than regular mayonnaise. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use that to make our tuna salad today. I do actually like Miracle Whip. I used to eat it all the time when I was a kid. Some other things that you'll need, obviously, any fixings that you want to put. So, for example, lettuce. I actually have pre-shredded lettuce here. I'm going to have a piece of cheese on there for a panini. I actually have, these are pretty neat. These are sliced pickles that are lengthwise so that you can put them on a sandwich, which is pretty cool. I personally love bread and butter pickles. I think it's delicious with tuna salad. For tuna salad, there's other ingredients that typically you would include. For example, some chopped celery, some chopped parsley, some chopped onions. In fact, there's one ingredient that I forgot that I'm going to get out of my cupboard right now. Going to put a little bit of garlic powder in this guy to give it a little bit of flavor. Now, if I had those other things, I would go ahead and put those in the recipe, because I do actually like a little bit of chopped celery in my tuna salad, but unfortunately I haven't had a chance to go shopping, and I didn't plan on doing this today. It's just actually I just woke up and I said, man, I'm hungry. I don't feel like going out and buying anything, and actually I was out of regular bread, if you can believe it. All I had is this special ciabatta bread in here right now, because the rest of my bread got moldy this week, and I was like, damn, well, what am I going to do? Rather than run out and buy stuff, I'm just going to whip up something from what I have here. So we're going to make some makeshift tuna salad. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is you need to open your tuna and drain it thoroughly. So we got our can opener here, and obviously you want to be very careful whenever you're dealing with any kind of a sharp household tool. I recommend you get an automatic can opener, because, for example, this one barely even works. It's very hard to even get it to work, but it is what it is. It's all I have right now. And what you're going to want to do, don't actually remove the entire lid, okay? Because what you're going to want to do is drain it. So go maybe 3/4 of the way around, which is what I did there. And then you bring it over. Woo, I can smell the tuna already. Stinky, stinky. But it's delicious. And you go ahead and you drain your tuna. Get all that water out of the can. Try to get it as dry as you can. Okay? Last thing we're going to want is wet and soggy tuna salad. So that's done, and then once you're done with that, you take a knife, any knife. It could be a butter knife, but I just grabbed this knife because it was the closest one. You bend your lid, be very careful, and you just take that and you get your tuna into a bowl. Now, depending on how much tuna salad you're making, obviously you might need a much bigger bowl than this, but in this case, I'm only making enough for a sandwich or two here. I'll probably save a little bit, because I'm sure this is going to be more than enough for one sandwich, and so therefore you might want a bigger bowl later on. All depends. If you're making this for the family, obviously you're going to want a bigger bowl. So we'll go ahead and we'll open this can as well. And like I said, this thing sucks. It's really hard to get it to pierce the can sometimes. There we go. Let's look at that. Popped right off. This is why I hate these old-fashioned can openers, especially the ones they make today, because they don't make them like they used to. Back in the day, everything was made of stainless steel, everything was strong and worked and was durable. Now everything's a piece of crap. because they try to cut corners and everything's made in some third world country. But anyway, I digress. Alright, so we're going to take that. We're going to drain that as well. Almost done here. Okay. Open that carefully. Don't cut yourself because these edges will be very sharp. I learned from experience. Don't freaking gouge yourself here. Obviously get as much out of the can as you can. It's okay to have a little bit left behind. Alright. I got quite a hefty helping of tuna in that bowl now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Miracle Whip. Now, depending on how much tuna you've used is how much Miracle Whip you should use. What they say is for every 6 ounces of tuna, you should use a half a cup of mayonnaise and or Miracle Whip. In this case, I'm going to add it, see how much, what it looks like, and if I need to add more. Half a cup per 6 ounces, well I've got 10 ounces, so you figure I might end up using all of my Miracle Whip here actually, because I don't have a heck of a lot left. This might be the end of it. And like I said, unlike mayonnaise, this is vegetable based. It has a lot less, shit, where's my cup? There you go. A lot less calories, a lot less fat, a lot less cholesterol than regular mayonnaise. And so it even looks identical to mayonnaise. It actually does taste quite different. It has a tangy zip to it that I personally like. So let's see if I get that in there. That's little, it's probably about half a cup, maybe a little bit more. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to add some onion powder to it. And you don't want to go ape shit, obviously. You want to put some onion powder, but not too much. So we'll just do a little sprinkling there on top. We'll mix that in. Now literally all you do is you stand here for a while and you mix it. And it's going to make your tuna salad for you. And it's really nothing to it. It's just mixing, mixing, mixing until you've got the consistency that you're looking for. And obviously this bowl now is, I wish I kind of had a slightly bigger bowl, because now this bowl's ending up being a little bit too small for what I wanted, because now it's starting to jump out of the edges on me. And woo, I can smell that onion powder. I really do wish I had some celery, because like I said, I do like some pieces of celery in my tuna salad usually. Obviously this is way too much for one sandwich. Any person who would sit there and just eat one whole bowl of this with tuna salad, you're going to freaking die, man. Don't do that. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, how I'm going to make this an interesting sandwich rather than just a plain sandwich. Now what you ideally want to do, you're going to mix it like this, and you're going to let it sit for a little bit to try to solidify and dry out a little bit. But this is pretty much ready to serve, and honestly, I think I put a little bit too much Miracle Whip in there. I think I could have went with a little bit less. I think it looks a little bit too goopy right now. So, just experimenting, like I said, it's hard to do when you're not doing it exactly to the ingredients that the recipe tells you. And in this case, like I said, the recipe said do a half a cup per 6 ounces. I think that recipe was absolutely wrong, because if you do a half a cup per 6 ounces, that thing's going to be drooling. I mean, that was what I put in there was about roughly half a cup. And that was 10 ounces of tuna, and I think it was too much. But I also think that they were assuming you were putting a lot of other ingredients into it, like the celery and parsley and onions and other things. But anyway, this is roughly your tuna salad. Actually, it looks like it is a little bit dry in the center. Mix it up a little bit more. Now, what are we going to do to make this not just a regular tuna salad sandwich? Well, here's what we're going to do. Over here, I have two unique things that can make this different. I have a piece of ciabatta bread and a panini grill, okay? Now, let me tell you something. This panini grill is amazing, because this panini grill, it'll cost you maybe, the cheapest one I've seen in the store is maybe like 30 bucks. They go all the way up to like 80 bucks depending on how big they are and all the options and things like that. This thing is amazing. It turns regular sandwiches into like gourmet lunch, really. I mean, I've had so many days where I just made a regular sandwich. I was like, it's just a meat, it's a ham sandwich, and you toss it on there and it melts the cheese and it gets everything nice and warm. It's a really, pulls the flavor out of things. So I highly recommend for anyone who eats lunch, like sandwiches all the time, panini grill is excellent. You can also interchange the plates on this grill. They come off, they're easy to wash, and you can also have interchangeable plates that are flat, and you can use this as a regular grill as well. If you don't have like a stove like I have, or a frying pan, you can use this as like a griddle. So I'm going to turn this guy on. I'm going to turn it on high heat for a sandwich. Now this is ciabatta bread. Ciabatta bread is special because ciabatta bread... Whoop, whoa, just smashed the camera with the ciabatta bread. Hold on, let me zoom out. Ciabatta bread is special because it is a different consistency than regular bread. It is a thicker bread. And what this is made to basically do is it grills very well. When it toasts, it turns into like a hard toast, and it can be flattened like on the panini grill. And as you're going to see, it's really good for grilling. So what we're going to do is we're going to start building our sandwich on this ciabatta bread over here, and then we're going to toss it on the panini grill. So let's actually start to clean up a little bit. The Miracle Whip's done. I'm done with the can opener. Get that out of the way. Okay. Done with this. This will get washed. Man, I really wish I had other ingredients, because that is a soggy tuna salad, and I wish it wasn't that soggy, but there's not much I can do about it now. Alright. I'm going to open my... Obviously, you don't have to buy pre-cut lettuce. This is just, they had it on sale at my store, and I was like, wow, pre-cut lettuce, that's an easy way out, rather than having to actually, buy a head of lettuce and start cleaning it and stuff like that. This is pre-washed, pre-cut lettuce that you can use on a sandwich. So we're going to go ahead and just take some of our tuna salad that we just made. We're going to put it on our panini bread. I'm sorry, our ciabatta bread. Take that back. Panini bread is different. There is bread specifically called panini bread that is different than this bread. Go ahead and apply it. Now remember, the way that this is going to work is it's going to go on the grill, it's going to push it down. So what you want to try to do is get as much towards the center of the bread as possible, so that when the pressure gets applied on top, it'll squish it out and it'll evenly distribute amongst the bread. And we'll put a little bit more. So this is enough for maybe another 2 sandwiches actually. Any crackling noises you hear right now, that's actually the panini grill. It's actually warming up, and it makes those noises as it warms up. Alright, so let's get that out of the way. Up next, we should probably do some of the pickles. So what we'll do is we've got some pickles here, and we grab a fork. We'll grab a little baby fork to use for this guy. And I love these pickles because they're perfect for this kind of sandwich. They're sweet, they're delicious. You put them right there, bloop, like that. And I love these pickles, so I'm putting 2 on. I'm sorry, I love them. Bam, right there. So we got 2 pickles. We're going to go ahead, put a piece of cheese. That'll melt on there nicely when we put this on our panini grill. We're going to put a little bit of lettuce. I don't want to make too much of a mess, but I'm going to anyway. And then we're going to go ahead and put that on top. So when this cooks on our panini grill, you're going to see it's going to toast it nicely. Actually, I've put too much tuna on the sandwich because I can already see it's running off. So I'm going to take some of this off the edges. Well, it's unavoidable. Whenever you cook something on a panini press, something's going to come off the sandwich, whether it's dressing, whether it's some of the ingredients. They always fall off. I've never had like a perfect panini sandwich where nothing came off of it. It's inevitable because you're putting pressure on top of the sandwich, so obviously something's going to fall off of the sandwich. Alright, so this one's pretty much good to go as soon as that grill heats up and is almost ready to go. It's heating up as we speak, and as soon as that blue light goes on the right-hand knob, it means that it's ready to go. So let's move our sandwich over here in preparation. In the meantime, I'll clean up a little bit over here. Whenever you're using a panini press or a panini grill, be extremely careful because that sucker gets hot. Let me tell you, I used to work at a health food store. Yes, I said that. I used to work at a health food store in high school. All we sold was like frozen yogurt, salads, panini sandwiches that were ready to be, fit sandwiches. And we used a panini grill similar to this one, only it was like an industrial strength one. The thing was, made to be used all day long. And let me tell you, that thing got so damn hot. You would just go like this, whoop, oh, and you could freaking burn your finger right off. You're like, holy shit, man. Because that thing would be on constantly all day long. Now, some other things that you can add to your tuna if you like. A lot of people like to add pepper. I do know that. I personally like pepper a little bit, but not too much, so I didn't put any pepper on this, but you can if you'd like. It is a common ingredient. Alright, so our panini grill is warmed up. Our right-hand blue light is now on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sandwich on the grill. And you got to be careful when you do this. Like I said, it's going to be very hot. You open the grill, leave it open. Ooh, you see the steam come off of it right away. We're going to put our tuna salad sandwich down. You probably want to position the bread a little bit back because when you close it like this, it's going to actually flatten the sandwich and pull that. So what I usually do is I do this. I put the bread a little bit back and I already angle the top like this. Some grills you're lucky you can do that, and then that way when I push it down, voila. So essentially, rather than just a regular tuna salad sandwich, what we're making is a panini grill tuna melt, which is probably going to end up being a lot more tasty than just a regular tuna salad sandwich. And I can already see some of the tunas coming off the sides. That's perfectly fine. Just like when you make a tuna melt, there's always tuna that hangs off the edges and it gets grilled on the grill. That's fine. So our tuna melt is melting. Clean up a little bit more here while we wait. Typically when I make a panini sandwich like this, I leave it on the grill for about 5 minutes. It all depends on what you're making, but you want to make sure that your bread is toasted properly, because you don't want to end up with bread that's like soggy, which unfortunately has happened a couple times. I took it off the grill too early and the bread ended up being very soggy because of all the juices and everything from the meat and everything that I had in the sandwich had actually, seeped into the bread, but I didn't cook the bread long enough, so it ends up being kind of a mushy bread, which you definitely don't want. So my apologies, I'm passing in front of the camera a couple times here to put some things in the dishwasher. We're almost done. Some other common things that you put on a tuna melt: lettuce, tomato. Some people like bacon. I've seen some interesting things added to tuna melt sandwiches, so it's totally at your discretion and your taste. That's the cool thing about this kind of a sandwich, is that you have very many variations of ways you can make it. And the basic recipe is just tuna and mayonnaise or a mayonnaise substitute, so it's very easy to make. It's not that messy. It's not that big of a deal. In fact, the biggest mess we're going to have, as you're going to see, is going to be the grill, because some of that tuna is going to have seeped onto the grill, and it's going to end up being a little bit messy to clean up. Goes up here. I apologize, I don't have a fast motion camera, I'm not going to edit this video to skip to when it's done, so if you're bored right now, go take a piss, go take a shit, go jerk off, go do whatever you need to do, go walk your dog, go slap your baby on the back. You'll be surprised how long lettuce can last if you put it in a nice Ziploc bag like this, and you make sure all the air is taken out of it before you zip it. Okay. I'm going to say that sandwich is almost ready. Actually, I can smell the tuna cooking, so that's good. Take a look. Oh yeah, now it's moved unfortunately, but you see our bread is toasting, so this is about ready. Unfortunately, most of the tuna has seeped off the bread because I put too much Miracle Whip in it because the recipe was wrong. So now at least I know, for the future, do not put that much. If you're going to do, say, up to 10 ounces of tuna, put a little bit less than half a cup. It was too much Miracle Whip for what was there. In fact, I might take another can of tuna and add it to that leftovers that I have to try to even it out. It was way too much. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead, rather than wait, I'm going to take it off. can see, it made a mess on our panini grill, which we'll have to clean up later, but do not do that immediately because it is so freaking hot. Now that is one messy sandwich. And the reason it's so messy is because there's way too much Miracle Whip in it, so that's a shame. If it had just a little bit less Miracle Whip, it wouldn't have been this goopy, and all of our ingredients wouldn't have slid like that. They all kind of slid right off the sandwich, but try to get them back on there a little bit. Our cheese is already melted to the pickle, so that's going to be hard. That's going to be a messy sandwich to eat, but you understand the basic recipe of tuna salad is very easy. And I'm kind of disappointed with the presentation. I guarantee you this is going to taste good. The presentation, it looks like shit. It looks like it looks like someone like just freaking took a crap on a piece of bread. So, but anyway, sometimes you win some and you lose some. It's going to be tasty. It's just going to be really messy. So nothing I can do about it now. The recipe was a little bit off, but at least we live and learn. So remember, anywhere from 6 to 10 ounces of tuna. It says to use half a cup of mayonnaise or Miracle Whip. Don't use that much, use less, but also you can put other ingredients that would have evened out the recipe, such as parsley, celery, onions, things like that. And like I said, other things people like to put on this kind of a sandwich: lettuce, tomato, bacon. I prefer pickles with my tuna salad. I don't know why, I just love the taste of pickles with tuna salad. So alright, I'm going to let this cool down because, by the way, when you take something off a panini grill, it's very hot. You have to let it cool off for at least 2 minutes, I'd say, before you even dig in. But I'm going to attempt to eat this monstrosity, which is going all over the place because there's too much Miracle Whip in it. But the good news is, like I said, the Miracle Whip is actually not that bad for you. It has less than half of the fat and cholesterol of mayonnaise. So imagine if I had made this with mayonnaise. That thing would have been an artery clogger. So good thing I didn't use that, and I used alternative ingredients. So anyway, there's a reason why we call this Poorly Cooking with the King. I'm DSP. I hope that you refine this recipe to make it a little bit better and therefore it doesn't fall apart. But keep in mind, we were also doing a panini, and paninis can be hit or miss, especially with a liquid type ingredient like we had here, and that's kind of why the sandwich is falling apart too. So, alright, that's it for this episode.